This video is going to be about what I call bushcraft Nazis. Coming up on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name is Brian. Thanks for joining me. So this is going to be a really quick video about something I think that I just felt like I needed to address. I've seen it happen pretty frequently over the last couple of years on not just this channel, but on lots of other channels and in this community in general. And that's what, sometimes I call it bushcraft Nazis, but that has a negative connotation, and I don't necessarily think it really comes from a negative mindset. But anyway, so I'll try to keep it short and not ramble very much. So what I'm talking about is, I think since the advent and the popularity of all these survival reality type shows, we've got a lot of people out there who are now on the scene as survival bushcraft type experts, and they've all got their own followings. And I think, and I'm not taking anything away from those guys, I think they all have great sets of skills, and most of them anyway. And so this is not about those personalities, but what happens is I think they develop followers, students, disciples, in some cases almost to the point of groupies, but they develop a set of followers, and a lot of these people are people who are new to the outdoors, and their experience is based on whatever they heard or learned from that person. And I've learned something from a lot of these same people, okay? I mean, learning is learning. But I think what I've seen happen sometimes is if expert A says this is the way you do it, then you'll see somebody doing it in a different way, and we'll be generous and say, in the spirit of trying to help them learn and help them, they're very quick to point out the error of that person's ways and say, no, you're doing it wrong, you should do it this way. In some cases that may be true and it may be helpful, but bear in mind there's more than one way to skin a cat. So there's two ends of that spectrum I want to address. So maybe you're one of those people who have learned some stuff from one of these experts or gurus or whatever, and you in the interest of being helpful, you decided that you want to make sure that you point out when somebody's doing something wrong. I just want you to know, to bear in mind that, hey, you know what? Results are what count. So there's a lot of different ways of doing things. Take fire, for instance. If you're trying to build a fire, if the end result is you got a fire, that's a success. Doesn't matter how you did it. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're trying to be helpful, just bear in mind that maybe you might want to hold on a minute and see if they get the result they're looking for. Okay, on the other end of the spectrum, maybe you're trying to learn this stuff, and you've got a lot of these different helpful people telling you, no, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, it's doing this way, you should do it that way. And sometimes you have two people both telling you completely opposite techniques that both work for them, and you're so confused you don't know what to do. Here's my advice to you. If you got something that's working, that's fine. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm not saying don't practice other techniques, but you don't have to abandon a functional, working, successful technique because somebody tells you it's wrong. At the end of the day, we're all trying to learn here. We're all trying to develop and improve and increase our skills for survivability and just for plain fun. So bottom line, just have a good time and keep an open mind, and just recognize that there is more than one way to skin a cat. And if you just have a burning desire to correct somebody, probably the best thing to do is just keep it to yourself. And I'm not saying don't help somebody if you see them struggling, but if they're not struggling and they seem to be getting results, then they probably don't need you telling them they're wrong. Just saying. Anyway, again, I don't want to sound all preachy, but I've just noticed that it's been happening pretty frequently, and really not so much on this channel as on other channels that I watch and pay attention to, that especially in the comment section, somebody will just come on and just blast somebody for doing something wrong, or somebody will, anyway, it's just, don't be a bushcraft Nazi. And that's it. As always, thanks for watching Survival on Purpose. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for clicking that thumbs up, for sharing it with your friends, for watching those ads, and thank you so much for shopping on Amazon through my links. I really appreciate it. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. See you next time. People call them fanboys, I don't know. Without further rambling, just my opinion,